Ideas or structure is the people who left to suffer. No pop, no peace, bare unemployment. No money for bills, much less enjoyment. Total advantage, that's we fake. Under these enemies of the state. AAG, delicate lawyer, he really a pamper playing labor. Third politician now for sure. Going from door to door in number 4. Law and order not a priority. No one in charge of the nation's safety. DAG joined the cult of the greedy. We just a menace, 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 menace to society. Government buildings, well them the worst. We infrastructure seem like it costs. Electricity and water up with the moon. Every month you hear the fix coming soon. Under labor life for this pure misery. Oppression, depression and tyranny. This gang is a menace, 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 menace to society. Life in SKN, this ain't no joke. Like the whole country go loud. SKN in a serious dilemma. Now that the country been run by labor. This pure mayhem, scandal, disorder. With this labor party in power. Is this a social club in disguise? Or some kind of criminal enterprise? What a menace to society. This administration turning out to be the PM got a so-called advisor, telling people how to get away with murder. It's non-stop attack on the treasury with paper daddy and man big sorry. This labor bunch shot to the core, lacking integrity, that's for sure. Economy start hard, life crippling. We a collective menace, menace, menace to society. It's like it's all cheap and no Indian. It's like lunatics running the asylum without a plan. Ideas or structure is the people who left to suffer. No pop, no peace, bare unemployment. No money for bills, much less enjoyment. Total advantage, that's we fake. Under these enemies of the state. AAG, delicate lawyer, he really a pamper playing labor. Third politician now for sure. Going from door to door in number 4. Law and order not a priority. No one in charge of the nation's safety. DAG joined the cult of the greedy. We just a menace, 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 menace to society. Government buildings, well them the worst. We infrastructure seem like it costs. Electricity and water up with the moon. Every month you hear the fix coming soon. Under labor life for this pure misery. Oppression, depression and tyranny. This gang is a menace, 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 menace to society. Life in SKN, this ain't no joke. Like the whole country going up loud. SKN in a serious dilemma. Now that the country been run by labor. This pure mayhem, scandal, disorder. With this labor party in power. Is this a social club in disguise? Or some kind of criminal enterprise? What a menace to society. This administration turning out to be the PM got a so-called advisor, telling people how to get away with murder. It's non-stop attack on the treasury with paper daddy and man big sorry. This labor bunch shot to the core, lacking integrity, that's for sure. Economy start hard, life crippling. We a collective menace, menace, menace to society. It's like it's all cheap and no Indian. It's like lunatics running the asylum without a plan. Ideas or structure is the people who left to suffer. No pop, no peace, bare unemployment. No money for bills, much less enjoyment. Total advantage, that's we fake. Under these enemies of the state. AAG, delicate lawyer, he really a pamper playing labor. Third politician now for sure. Going from door to door in number 4. Law and order not a priority. No one in charge of the nation's safety. DAG joined the cult of the greedy. We just a menace, 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 menace to society. Government buildings, well them the worst. We infrastructure seem like it costs. Electricity and water up with the moon. Every month you hear the fix coming soon. Under labor life for this pure misery. Oppression, depression and tyranny. This gang is a menace, 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 menace to society. Life in SKN, this ain't no joke. Like the whole country going up in smoke. While Mr. Smiley and 10 money one busy fighting, jockeying for position. Lord have mercy upon all of we. With this menace, menace, menace to society. Government buildings, well them the worst. We infrastructure seem like it costs. Electricity and water up with the moon. Every Every month you hear the fix coming soon. And the labor life for this pure misery, oppression, depression and tyranny. This gang is a menace, 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 menace to society. Unless this ain't no joke. Like the whole country going up in smoke. Why Mr. Smiley and 10 money one busy fighting, jockeying for position. Lord have mercy upon all of we with this menace, menace, menace to society. Society, them are enemies of the state. Lord of mercy, under the weight of lies, they need their.
Good evening to everyone. My name is AZARD Gums, host of Unfiltered, deputy political leader of the People's Action Movement, attorney at law, and I am here with Troy Flanders. Troy Flanders was the former candidate for the People's Action Movement for constituency number 6 in the year 2022. And today is February 16th, 2025. And of course, for those persons who are historians, persons who appreciate history, they would know that 10 years ago on this day, the Team Unity administration, in which Pam was part of and held the majority number of seats, defeated the Labour Party, the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party at the general election. And then so this is the 10-year anniversary since the Labour Party's defeat and the victory of Team Unity. And of course, there is so much that we could talk about as it relates to the progress that the People's Action Movement was able to make during the time in power, during that time, the 7-year time. And of course, it showed the breaking of the chain of authoritarian rule by the Labour Party. It showed the advancement of the PAM, CCM, PLP government. We saw under those 7 years, we saw economic revitalization and debt reduction. We saw governance, good governance, and anti-corruption reforms. We saw the housing and infrastructure development. We saw as well healthcare and social welfare transformation. We saw an improvement in education and youth development, and of course a strengthening of the national security. Of course, we saw also the support for small businesses and agriculture. And of course, since then, we are now back in a position, the People's Action Movement again, ready to contest the next general election to ensure that St. Kitts and Nevis is given that safer, stronger future that most people are wanting at this point in time. And Troy, you know, it's been the 10-year mark. Of course, in 2022, we saw that the parties, it was PAM, CCM, it was the PLP, it was the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, it was the NRP in Nevis, and as a result, you know, the Labour Party secured a majority number of seats, able to stand on its own in 2022, and here we are in 2025. Had it not been for, you know, the disagreements between the parties and the individuals, of course, persons say that Team Unity would still be in power today. And of course, what do you have to say in relation to that?
Good night to your listeners, Azad.
Yes.
And thanks for the invitation. I understand that this program is the most listened program on Sunday. Yeah. Most people looking forward for this program. So once again, thank you. You know, I hear you outlining some of the progress of Team Unity.
Yes.
But you failed to mention the biggie, which was tourism.
Yes.
And, you know, we were able to welcome the million
cruise
passenger
passengers. Yes.
and Team Unity administration.
In fact, under a Team Unity administration in which the People's Action Movement was a part of, we saw the construction of a second cruise pier.
Exactly.
We saw that persons who were affected by hurricane, they were given relief through the roof program.
Yeah, I tell you,
We saw social development to try.
you were just scratching the surface.
Just scratching the surface. It was an introduction.
I hear
was an introduction.
I hear make sure that you let people know
Yes.
what we accomplish. And then, for years, they had this situation at Old Road Bay for years upon years, even before my time.
And I can remember that try because Old Road is my village. I grew up in Old Road, born and raised. And I remember at one point in time, there was hurricane, I think it was Hurricane George. And Hurricane George had destroyed the road. And so I went to school in Bastille. And so for those of us who lived in the country,
So you had to
in
come
those areas, we would use the Old Road, Bare Road to get to Bastille.
Yeah.
But for some time, I had to go across the other way. You understand? So what would have been perhaps a 15-minute drive to school
You end up with an hour plus.
became an hour plus.
Yeah.
You understand? And so no one could tell me more how much of a benefit it was to have that road developed, constructed, improved under Team Unity administration with People's Action Movement.
It was more than one hurricane to get damage, eh? It was something that was repeated over and over. Anytime there was a strong storm. And I could recall that during the construction of that very same road,
Yes.
right? There was people from the Labour Party who going down there wishing to see the road wash away during the construction,
Yes. And in fact, there were some persons who still criticize the road. I remember when I was a host on the ILNT program, there would be some persons who, well, not some, maybe very few persons. I can remember one individual in particular who spoke about the aesthetics, failing to understand that this was a situation where a person's lives were at risk. And so it's not about the aesthetics. It's not about the beautiful scene. Some persons might have said, well, you have the rocks there now. It was about saving lives and livelihood at the time.
Well, as I had, you look at if they realize they don't like to see the rocks, they plant some of the national plants go across the road. Some what we call almond tree.
Yes.
They plant them go across the road and help beautify the road. If they don't like to see how we look at this moment, they could also go and beautify it.
Indeed. So we have to, it has been some, and the thing about it, persons are comparing the time of plenty, which was the 2015 to the 2022 period, to now what is a time for most, a time of famine. Persons are not as satisfied with a government or with an administration as they were when the People's Action Movement was there, just 7 years ago, 10 years ago when we won.
And the sad part about it is that these present times, they want you to be satisfied with less. Make you become accustomed to the less what they're giving. Right?
Yes.
That become a norm. Accept less. From when people must not believe in growth.
Yes.
From when you shouldn't grow.
Exactly. And so and the thing about it, persons have to understand, and persons might say, well, the Labour Party won handsomely the last election. But we have seen in history where persons have won landslide victories, and because of their performance, that victory in the next election is not there. It's because they have not done what they ought to do to ensure that the people are satisfied. And so we have to be very vigilant. We have to be keeping our ears to the ground as it relates to what the people are saying, because it is a golden opportunity for the People's Action Movement to ensure that better representation, better governance is given.
But the People's Action Movement have a track record of delivering for the people.
Yes.
right? In every single aspect of life. You think about it, be it healthcare, education, sports, agriculture, whatsoever you think about, it was actually better under a People's Action Movement administration.
And in fact, I like to say, and persons might say he said this a lot, but I like to say that the People's Action Movement is the architect of a modern St. Kitts and Nevis. You understand?
Yeah.
Had it not been for the People's Action Movement, we would not have St. Kitts and Nevis as we do have it now today. And in fact, this is what persons have been saying. You go on the streets, we do our public meeting. You remember just last week, Saturday we were in Sandy Point and we were meeting with the people. We were speaking on their behalf. Our political leader was there. It was myself, it was you, it was Pell, it was Dr. Richards. We spoke on the platform at the public meeting in Sandy Point, which was well received by the people.
We speak about the issues that affecting the people and take them back to the time when they wasn't having those issues. You understand? Most of these issues that we having come from bad policies from the Labour Party.
Exactly. In fact, we look at the performance of the Labour Party and many persons are dissatisfied. And we say it here, and persons might say, well, you guys are speaking about the Labour Party over and over again. There was a time when persons said that the People's Action Movement were too silent, that we were too silent. And so this is our opportunity and this is our time now to speak on their performance or lack thereof.
Is one thing the Labour Party cannot accuse the People's Action Movement of is undermining the administration. We give them enough time to settle in for them to put their policies in place and start governing. So we didn't jump out and start criticizing every move, right?
In fact, there was a time when they were messing up and people were saying they want to hear from PAM. They want to hear from the People's Action Movement.
But during the transition phase, we give them that teething space.
Yes.
We did give them that. And now that they see that the People's Action Movement is here speaking on the issues that are affecting people, they are running scared. And the thing is that our message is well received by the people because they know that what we are saying is exactly what they are asking us to say.
Yes. And it, on the ground, in Sandy Point, the reception was very well received. Persons met me after the meeting, they engaged, we spoke. It was, people are saying they like to see what the People's Action Movement is doing, standing up and speaking on behalf of the ordinary man and woman in St. Kitts and Nevis.
But you went to Saturday and jumped over Friday. You remember?
Yes.
Based on this heart-breaking incidents that we have in this period of vehicular accident, right? As a God-fearing nation and a party that lift up the name of Jesus, we decide that we will call upon him to intervene in what's going on.
Yes. So on Friday, what Troy is talking about, on Friday of last week, we, the People's Action Movement, with a number of other stakeholders, churches, joining us as well was the PLP. Yeah. And so what we did, we prayed for the nation. The People's Action Movement organized a prayer for the nation because we realized that there were a number of lives lost due to vehicular accidents. Far too many lives. I recall just last year in constituency number 4, that accident that claimed the life of so many persons in that constituency. And so the prayer was focused towards ensuring that road users
for safety on the road
are safe on the road.
Yeah, and the thing is that we send out invitation to the major the NGOs.
Yes.
And so I mean, some people didn't take up the invitation. It's unfortunate, but nevertheless, we send them out, and we are so grateful for those who turn up, the pastors and the prayer warriors, and so who turned up and did deliver a powerful message, a powerful prayer for the nation.
And Troy, even as we are talking about that, persons are messaging me now, and there seemed to be a status that was posted saying that since morning Shadwell don't have any water. What really going on?
That's left under labor.
And so as we speak, there are persons who are messaging me with the concerns. And I tend to say this often. We have a prime minister who speaks about sustainable island state. And we can't even get a sustained supply, constant supply of electricity and water in our country. Yet every time I looked at even, there is a chat GPT now that you could use. And I Google it, I use it, and I say, mention, highlight the articles, the number of times that the Prime Minister indicated and spoke about the sustainable island state. And he's been talking about it for a while, try. In fact, for I think since he's been in office, that has been one of his major slogans, sustainable island state. And we are yet to get a constant supply of power and water.
When you go to school, right? And they got a little program. They give you a little meditation, and they give you the children a little meditation. So somebody gave the Prime Minister the meditation, so he just go and recite the meditation. He himself don't say believe what he's saying, right? He just reciting the meditation that somebody gave him to say. I'm telling you that the water situation is as terrible as back in the early 90s. That's how far back we gone, right? Maybe over 30 years. And I will tell you this, Azad, maybe you're a bit too young to know about this, but the last major water project that St. Kitts had was the Kuwaiti drinking water project that started under the People's Action Movement. There was a number of wells that was dug and a number of reservoir that was built under that very same project.
Yes.
The Kuwaiti drinking water project. We had 20 years of labor, and the 20 years of labor now, you see that the neglect of the nation right now is playing out.
In fact, persons have been so dissatisfied because the Labour administration, they don't like to take accountability. They don't like to take responsibility. So what they do is they throw blame at the former administration. So all the time, if something goes wrong in the country, is Pam on the unity do that. If something goes right in the country, well, it's because of them. But you who can't take responsibility should not take credit for anything that is going well.
I will not take credit. But that's Labour. You look at Labour, Azar. Look at Labour. Let's take us back, right? To 15. Let's say 15 years ago.
Yes.
About that, you cannot find no major accomplishment by the Labour Party.
Nothing of
Substance.
Nothing of a long-lasting effect.
You cannot. You take the last 5 years of the Labour administration before Team Unity victory in 2015, you could recall that after the election, I think it was 2010 elections, right? There was a serious outcry of hardship 2010, and then after there was some confusion in the Labour Party, they come up with this program they call PEP. Because people
Remember when
so
persons had to take haircuts
That's
under
what-
the
that's
Labour
all of that,
administration?
all of that, that's what-
Remember when public debt was up to the roof, where we had the former leader of the Labour Party said in constituency 4, actually on Green Tree Lawn. I was a teenager at the time. I said public debt we all know. You understand?
Well, that is how they think, eh? Because Labour don't take nothing seriously unless it's something benefiting them directly, Anything for the people. If you go look at the history of PAM, right? And you talk about workers, protection of workers, right? It was the People's Action Movement who put the law in place for severance payment to protect workers from any closure, any business places or not. When you're talking about protecting a woman, and so it was the People's Action Movement. Until now, the US cannot do what Pam did for St. Kitts and Nevis: 13 weeks maternity leave with pay.
Let me tell you, because at times, many times I'm on the Facebook and I am criticizing heavily the performance of this Labour administration. And I know my good friend Glenda Nisbet, whoever that person is, she comes and she comments, is a unknown profile. And she spoke about some of the accomplishments under the Labour administration. And to her credit, she really doesn't have, she's trying to do such a good job. I give her A for effort, but she is trying to make a failing administration look good. But I'm told we have a phone call.
Stick up.
Yes.
You have the caller?
We have the caller.
Seems like they're gone.
We don't have the caller?
They're
Okay.
gone.
So we apologize for that. But she is trying her best. Even at this moment, she's on the live trying to save face for the Labour Party.
She's there right
She's
now?
working overtime.
So she's the one who promoting 22,000 people.
We have a caller. Caller, you're live on Unfiltered.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening. Could you turn up the volume?
I just want to comment on one thing. We are now in the height of sports season in terms of high school sports, primary school sports. And you would realize that one thing the world has acknowledged is that the region, the Caribbean region, we have a comparative advantage in sprinters. You see, Alfred did what she did at the Olympics. You see all the others doing what they have to do. And so for us to see that now we are taking a step backwards in athletics, in sports, just because of the incompetence of the sports minister, we're taking a step backwards, back on grass. They actually hosted event at the old Bastille High playing field for the youngsters. A big step backwards. These are issues that we have to shine a light on. That are not taking this thing serious. One thing Pam recognized was that, you see, leadership is important. Eh? When you look at Prime Minister Simmons, he was an athlete, true and true. Tennis, football, not even to mention cricket. So he understood, even netball, because he was on the championship team as a doctor or something back in the 70s. So he understood the value. But it seems as though those who are empowered, the A team, I mean, most of them, they never touch a sport in their life. So they really don't understand the value of sports. You look at the budget for sports this year, I think 2025, hardly any capital project for sports. They're saying that they're going to dig up Teba and resurface the thing outside. What about the indoor facility? Well, we're not deserving of that in St. Kitts. They don't take sports serious and can recognize that sports can get that diamond out the rough and push somebody forward. Look at the young lady in cricket. Look at Kim Collins, all those persons. How are we going to find the next Kim Collins? Yeah. So in the height of sports season, I just wanted to highlight that. And I don't know what's going to happen to inter-school this year, because they say that the shop should be finished. They actually tweet out to the school saying they're going to carry it back to Old Bastille, and the high school them say no time. No time we're going back down there. Right? So that's just something that sports term and it really burning me. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. In fact, that was one of the things I wanted to highlight. It is the sports term again.
Yeah.
And we have Samal and Labour not performing.
Yeah.
Sports term, they knew since last year that the Kim Collins Athletic Stadium was not ready. A year has passed.
And it's still not ready.
Still not ready yet. Uncertainty. And so this Labour administration, it makes you wonder, what can they do to completion? Because they talk about doing a number of things, and they haven't completed many.
Lame Labour.
I go back on to talk about the Glenda Nisbet post, and she said under this administration, water to carry on. But try many persons in Kenya still complaining about water. People across the country complaining about water. So I say, she's really trying her best. Or whoever the individual is really trying their best.
Tell her I say that she any live? So water to care and none in Saddlers. Water to care and none in Sandy Point. Water to care and none in Boardwalk.
But listen to this. She then highlighted on my page, new hospital.
What new hospital?
And I said to myself, is clearing ground for a new hospital the same as the construction of a new hospital?
But the thing about it is that right where they want to build the hospital is a well there with water. They were talking about the Barcia High School and Aquifer. There is a well right on the site with water. So how could you think about putting a hospital where you're drinking water there? It's a sickening thing, that's the same Glendon needs to celebrate 25,000 people and 250. That just show more than half
but
the
how
working.
You not try? Because you look like you're on my page. The
More-
next thing she
more-
talk about was the budget boost wallet.
Yeah, but more that's about 2/3 of the working population have to ask the government for a top up. That means things not simple. Things happen. So the government go subsidize 3/4 of the workforce.
Exactly.
And you gonna boast about that? If I was that person, I'm gonna put my head in the sand like an ostrich and say nothing. As that caller was speaking about AZARD, sporting, and the seriousness in which Pam takes sporting. Let's start from Canary AZARD.
Yes.
Pam builds sporting facilities in Canary. When you leave Canary, you go to Kayan, St. Mary's Park. Pam builds sporting facility there. When you leave Kayan, you go on to Atlas. Pam build sporting facility there. And believe it or not, they've also built one in Lodge, Molyneux, Mansion. They did work at Tabernacle, put down facilities in Tabernacle. They did work at Saddlers, Deep Bay, Newton Ground, St. Paul, Sandy Point, a brand new playfield when Sandy Point. When you leave Sandy Point in your constituency as hard.
Yeah. Lambards.
No man, you jump over one half a tree.
Half a tree, yes.
Lambards,
Talk about virtuals.
vouchers, and you're not done.
Talk about Middle Island.
As you talk about challengers also in your own country. Pam did that. You understand? Pam is who, and when you leave there, you go down to Lime Keel, start to count so much you get. See if you don't go use your toes and your fingers them to see how much sporting facility Pam build. When you left Lime Keel, you go down to Newtown, right up there where you see they having sports there right now. Pam build that, and Boardwalk. So you see, that you think about lawn tennis. Pam had looked at lawn tennis as a way that he could have lifted people out of poverty. Lawn tennis was a thing that was on the rise in St. Kitts and Nevis.
We have another caller. Caller, you're live on Unfiltered. Talk louder, caller. You're live. Speak, caller.
Yes, good evening, man. I'm sorry, how you doing, man? Good evening to you and your guest, man.
Good evening, Burl.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
Yeah, at some point, I think I need to get your phone number direct, man. If I can, please.
Yes, no problem.
Right now, I'm sorry to bust you up right now like this. There's a discussion going on Freedom FM right now between Kalantri and Edinburgh. You guys need to try to get a copy of that presentation tonight. They're not, for some reason, he's not broadcasting on Facebook. And it's concerning the relationship between Nevis and St. Kitts down the stretch. And a caller just called in and asked Edinburgh if he thinks Nevis is being treated any more fairly now than back in the day based on the discussion they're having tonight. And what I want to contribute to your program tonight is that report that the Prime Minister said, finally, the World Bank has completed that report and he got it. These guys, him and Mark, is playing politics with this document. You guys in PAM, you all got to get more radical, man. If you all want to move that Labour Party out the way, you all got to get more radical. Trust me on that, AZARD. It's not going to happen just by being, easy. the Prime Minister, I'm calling him out tonight, and I'm calling out Mark, the Prime Minister of the Premier, of Nevis. I'm calling out those two gentlemen tonight, respectfully. The Prime Minister said at his round table, the last one, that the document is finally completed, and he got it. Right? Since then to now, that document don't need to pass through his finance minister, and then it's altered, and no one knows that it's altered. They need to present that document to the public as it is. And you, Azad, you must direct your leader of your party to rally somehow. If you all got to go in the street and put pressure on this Prime Minister to release that document to the public and to your leader and to the leader of all the parties in the Federation. I don't know what the leader of NRP going to do on Nevis, but you guys cannot sit back and let them put that document away and hide it from the public. That's talking about the revenue sharing between Sinkis and Nevis, and a national issue that has been plaguing Sinkis and Nevis. I can probably maybe say for 2 centuries, man, from since 18 something, when white persons and Nevis was trying to pull away from Sinkis because of the treatment. And the caller that called in on Freedom FM right now is asking Edinburgh, you think Nevis is getting any fairer treatment now than then? And that's where that document is so important right now. You guys got to get that document, bro. Me, myself, personally, I want to see that document. Wow!
Okay, bro. Thank you so much for your contribution,
that's it. No,
bro.
that's it. That's all I wanted to contribute tonight, man. I say, man, you got to get that document, man. All right?
Thank you, bro. Yes.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
So, thank you, bro. Thank you for that input. We appreciate your call, and we appreciate what you have to say. So, Troy, we have here a situation where it's as though the Labour Party sends out officers to defend.
Mm-hmm.
Officers to defend.
Yeah, somebody is defending?
Well, I'm just talking about all that I've seen. So, in this too, she posted, or whoever the individual is behind the Facebook page says CBI dividend. The CBI dividend that is no longer an option or being paid. Yeah. So when I looked at all the things that she listed, or the individual listed, because again, is a name of a female, is a picture of a female, but I don't know who's operating the page.
And I will ask that individual. I think it was over $40 million was paid, right? That $40 million could have built about over 200 houses, which we're going to stimulate the economy, right? Mm-hmm. And more people, we're going to benefit directly. We're going to have a buzz in the economy, right? That $40 million could have actually start the national health insurance, which is sitting on somebody's desk. All the work was done by a PAM minister. All the work for national health insurance was done. That $40 million could have started that, and that could have benefited so much people in this federation, right? Mm-hmm. So when they're looking at things like that, let's think about how long-term benefits for the people.
Yes. So and the thing about it, as you have indicated prior, this Labour administration, they have done nothing of long-lasting effect for the people of St. Kitts.
And for the 2.5, 3 years, you can't point to nothing that gonna last 2 days.
Not a thing.
You pay the dividend $250, man go down and drink 2 and they forget about that. Everything done.
Nothing of a real substance, as you said.
Dividend pay and he stimulate in not even a bump in the economy. And you taking credit for that?
I really want to see on what platform are they going to run again for the next election, because is it that they're going to say doing nothing but vote for us again? No,
they ain't going to say that. They're going to take claim for things that wasn't done, like the 25 by 25. Now they're talking about Anbian, because 25 by 25 dead, right? Dead and available. So now they're talking about Anbian, which still also Anbian in the 25 by 25 is tall and starting line.
Yes. as I like to say, dead on arrival.
Yeah, it's tall. This is the thing they're going to take credit for.
So if we go back to the PAM CCA manifesto for 2022, it talked about what our priorities would have been. And so we talk about creating jobs. It says that, we will enable hundreds of micro, small, and medium enterprise while simultaneously supporting the expansion of existing businesses across all sectors. We talked about war on poverty. We talked that we will expand existing poverty alleviation programs aimed at improving the lives and livelihood of all people. In fact, we were the party that spoke about expanding. Labour spoke about expanding to, but what did they do? They reduced to the point that some people are off.
Azad, one thing jump out to me is the Dream Fund,
Yeah.
The Dream Fund.
We did say that we were going to invest monies into businesses.
The Dream Fund,
Fund.
I dare you to dream big. The sky is the limit. Not no nightmare that we're facing.
Exactly. We talked about caring for the people. And we said we would prioritize healthcare and education. We will provide free healthcare, construct a state-of-the-art hospital with modern equipment and medical supplies, and professionalize our health services to meet international standards. We will also build human capacity to better prepare our youth for success in the global economy. This was something, too, now that I'm going on to that was very dear to me as a young person. We said we would establish a national youth agenda. And as one of the youngest members on the executive of the People's Action Movement, and this was something that was dear to me because I believe that young people need a voice at the table. We must ensure that young people are here wherever we go. And so the National Youth Agenda for the People's Action Movement included increasing opportunities in leadership, entrepreneurship, and business management, academic scholarships, mentorship programs, and vocational initiatives. And we said that in this way, the dreams of young people can be realized.
With the vocational initiatives, there's a serious shortfall in skilled workers. Serious shortfall. And then, as I talk about that, there's something I see here about immigration reform.
Yes.
Right? And most of the skilled workers now that we have, they are migrants. Right? Immigrants a bit? Is immigrants a bit?
We talked about boosting tourism. We will diversify our tourism product and promote seeing beyond traditional source market to strategically expand the industry. We will support niche markets in areas of business, health, sports, land-based, eco, tour, entertainment, community, and heritage tourism. And so we know it was under the People's Action Movement that we made the million passenger mark. Yeah. Of course, luckily, the Labour administration, Marsha, inherited what the former minister, Lindsay Grant, would have been doing. And so she has not yet, I haven't seen her make the million passenger mark. You understand? Based on what the then Honorable Lindsay Grant was doing as Minister of Tourism, it's chalk and cheese now.
But with all these plane ride and so you would have believed in and reach them at the AZARD.
We talked about the good governance agenda, saying that we will craft and enforce freedom of information, term limits, integrity in public life, electoral reform, and other good governance legislation. We spoke about immigration reform. We will pursue comprehensive immigration reforms resulting in blue card status, amnesty for all qualified foreigners residing in St. Kitts and Nevis, and a new residency status program. As it relates to foreign affairs, we talk about globalization continuing to redefine politics, business management, and technology. And we said we would better be prepared for the global stage, or we will better prepare St. Kitts and Nevis for the global stage by expanding its perspective on international law. You understand? Friendships between states, beyond the CARICOM, beyond the OECS, and other regional blocs.
I do talk about immigration and reform and so as that. This is something that as a nation we should start to think about, right? And I mean, we never discussed that in the People's Action Movement. But if you look at a place like Barbados, right, you find that pensioners, right,
Yes.
they have certain things offered to them so that they could move there and live there. Because, you know, they come with a fixed income and so. But those are people who going to come there with money. They ain't taking nothing from the nation. They come with money. They're going to offer job to people who do other things for them and so. And these are things we could start to look at to encourage people to come to St. Kitts and Nevis and make St. Kitts their home, St. Kitts and Nevis their home. Because we got to grow this country. We got to talk about growth.
We said in our first 100 days in office, we will launch $100 million dream fund. And
That's what I'm talking
designed
about.
to power entrepreneurship and small business development. This fund will inject seed money into approved business ideas up to easy $200,000. The $100 million dream fund will provide concessions plus incubation and acceleration business type, coaching to yield intergenerational wealth.
Intergenerational wealth. That's something lacking amongst me and your skin color.
We also said try in our first 100 days in office, we will create 5,000 new jobs under the Job Now program over the next 5 years. This program will reduce unemployment by 50%. We will target manufacturing, farming, infrastructure, and service industry to generate sustainable employment opportunities.
And as you talk about farming, there are so much jobs out there that could create from farming. So even you almost say 5,000, farming alone might be able to absorb that 5,000.
And the thing about it now, persons are in need for jobs. The economy is stagnant. We look at, it's housing again, because young people are in need for housing. And we have an administration, the Labour administration, that talk about this housing revolution that never came, that has never come. And they talk about, and what they did, they contracted services with a foreign company, not even a local company.
Oh, stop. Because I understand that the government of the day guarantee some money to that for that company to get the loan. I understand that I could be wrong, but let it prove me wrong. Just how you could put your faith in a foreign company, you could have taken a local boy, not using a boy who bring down nobody, just saying a local thing, and invest in that person to do the same thing that you expect this foreign company to do.
But Troy, what has been the result? Let us look at the result. 2 model homes and nothing more. What is this? This is 2.5 years. They boast and said 600 per year. All now.
Ask them who built Little Model Home.
Okay then.
I understand it was NAC who built Little Model Home, not himself, the company.
And so it is very disappointing. It is very disappointing that this Labour administration continue to take the people of St. Kitts and Nevis for fool.
But who is the Minister of Housing?
Dr. Jeffrey Handley.
Which ministries did Jeffrey take up and he running good? Which one of Jeffrey ministry going properly? You're speaking about education all over the place. Housing. You call a word all you're incompetent. You see it playing out every single one of the Labour ministers, right? It's the whole Labour cabinet. Samal, Jeffrey, Marsha, Joe, Denzel. Look at the Minister of Foreign Affairs. What has he bring back as a former Prime Minister and the most senior minister? What has he done from since he returned to office for St. Kitts and Nevis? Ask Denzel what he done.
This administration either do not care. Either that they don't care or they're incompetent.
But the Congress Maynard, you thought, well, that going to be one of the bright spot in the labor. You speak about water. You speak about energy, electricity. And the Congress Maynard, every single one of them is faltering.
So Glenda is on the live and she's saying, as I then try, over 113 homes were already built and another over 100 homes are currently under construction. But I haven't seen anything by NHC indicating this. They make a whole song and dance about the East Coast development, but I haven't seen a release.
I would like that lady to tell me who said she be read 113 houses. I believe she exists in a far away, from some fantasy land.
And if it were that they built 113 houses, wouldn't they boast about it? Wouldn't it have been a spectacle?
As I just said, she exists in some fairy land, some fantasy world.
I mean, knowing how this administration operates,
We had the photo up.
there will have been so many photo ops. So I am left in disbelief because knowing this administration, that there will have been so many photo ops. There will have been pictures galore.
That person probably getting a $20,000 a month salary because they're working overtime. They're working real hard.
So it is laughable because we know the men and women who have been elected to government, sadly. And had this been so, I am sure we will have seen the pictures.
You ever hear about bias remorse? Azad, if you realize now, since the People's Action Movement is out there and we are speaking on the issues and people are gravitating to PAM, you realize that people like that person now working overtime.
Overtime.
And
effort.
And we're going to continue, so I'm telling that person, don't get burnt out, you know,
Yes.
because we just turning it up. We just turning it up. Don't get burnt out.
We will continue to hold this administration's feet to the fire because there needs to be persons who are going to speak up, speak loudly, and speak on behalf of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Because we become the voice for the voiceless. That's what PAM be right now. PAM is because many persons afraid of victimization. So we have to carry that and speak for them.
But there are persons who, I say sometimes supporters, defenders of labor. And why I call them defenders of labor is because they're not just supporters. They are put and strategically placed to defend the party at all costs. So if it says that the party, if someone says, well, the party ain't doing well, they're not performing, they commander, they type, they speak, they criticize you who are voicing the concerns of persons.
And the thing about it, that them same people who doing that, they know to themselves because I'm getting it from them that they are not performing.
Yes.
Them themselves is saying it, and when they say it, it reach back to me.
And that's the thing. So there are a number of persons who are defenders of the Labour Party in public, but in private, they're feeling the squeeze. I'm getting a call. Hi, good day, Rusty.
Hey, yeah, what's up?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm alright. Are you hearing me carefully? Because we're on the road right now.
Yes,
Just
I'm
come off
hearing
the
you.
train.
We're hearing you. You're live on the studio, on radio.
Okay, got you. I heard you guys talk about the ministers not doing anything. You called Douglas' name, you called different names. But you also called Congress' name. I want to know, because Congress has to deal with water and electricity. I want to know, what would PAM improve in terms of water and electricity? From your first term, in your first year, what can you improve in terms of electricity and water? Can you answer that? The only one question. That's all.
Certainly, we would improve the number. Well, what I want to say, we will make sure that you have a constant supply because that is something that is not happening now. So the first thing, the easiest fix is to ensure that you have a reliable, constant supply of electricity and water.
Got you. All right, thanks a lot. Thanks,
And of course, persons are asking about the plans of the People's Action Movement. We don't want to do that in the Labour Party. Simply promise people for promising sake and when in office cannot deliver. These are going to be things that we have to sit at the table, discuss with stakeholders, things that we have to come up with in terms of ensuring the vision forward. Of course, this is where the manifesto comes. We don't just sit down idly and just promise for promising sake. You look at the manifesto that we produced in the last election.
I will tell you this. As long as I am a part of anything, People's Action Movement, anything we're doing will be people-centered. It will be people first, right? So when they worry about what we're going to do, firstly, we got to look after the people and the people's interests. We are hearing them and we are taking notes, right? I mean, you look at what's going on, and something as simple as the National Health Insurance, right? AZARD.
Yes.
Seeing that the groundwork had already been done, why shouldn't that already been implemented? Eh? We're talking about people, something that's going to benefit a large percentage of the population.
Yes.
You got to think about people when you're governing. The Labour Party cannot govern. They can't. They haven't proved that they know how to govern.
Indeed, they come up with all sorts of slogans, they come up with all sorts of promises, and then they ask themselves, how are we going to do this? Because we promised the people. And then somebody in India might tell them, well, they're going to forget in 9 days.
Yeah.
They're going to forget in 9 days. But we will ensure that the people don't forget.
And they put our friend there to remind people, oh, we're doing such a lovely job for you.
Yes.
And then you asking us to tighten our belt more and tighten your belt and tighten your belt. You will soon job off.
Indeed. And we have seen under the People's Action Movement in our manifesto, we talk about establishing a constituency development fund, making money available so we could do work in the constituencies. Right now, the constituencies are not as active in the sense that you don't feel the buzz. You don't feel the government assistance. You don't feel that sort of assistance in the communities. In fact, these ministers are more concerned about themselves.
You want to bet you something? Boy, tomorrow hear something about national health insurance? Because that's what the government do. They react. They react to what you say. They cannot govern.
Cannot.
The People's Action Movement talk about a revolving fund in agriculture. That's one problem that farmers facing is financing. Right? And if most farmers get access to finance, you'll see them out there farming, doing better farming, applying the trade, the best practices. Because they have the money to do what they want. They'll be more consistent with production.
But shouldn't a minister of government who's also a farmer be aware of these issues?
I think so, but the thing about it is that the Minister of Agriculture does not have the support of his West colleagues. He have to prove me wrong. Let him tell me that he have 100% support of his colleagues. I honestly believe that they're making a mistake, but he been sidelined because 10 years ago, he had on a white shirt.
Oh, funny you said that ago.
He had on a white shirt.
Funny you said that because that is real. 10 years ago, he actually had on a shirt that said Team Unity.
Right.
So, yes.
The comrades does not view him as one of them. So, nothing to do. That's why he's sidelined. And they are looking a candidate for number 4.
They think that he gonna switch up on them.
They ain't trust the guy. And I telling you that they're looking a candidate. They're thinking, they're shuffling up the bag and they're shaking up the bag. They're talking to people who will be the best fit, who gonna be the best fit. But if people in a number 4 make a mistake and they ain't gonna repeat it,
not at all.
They're not going to repeat it.
In fact, number 4, constituency number 4, you, as I like to say, under this representative, it is headless leadership. You look at his billboard, at the constituency office is without a head. They have not even tried to repair it because it's a true reflection of who is there now. Headless. You look at the sports, and again, this is the sports term, and I must belabor the point. This is the sports term, try. Every year we know when sports gonna come, when you keep. Every year.
Everybody
Ain't
knows sport. Soon as December gone, the sport term.
Ain't no secret. Yet, this is a minister of sports in Samuel Duggins who boasted and wrote and spoke about it being completed in articles. Fast forward 2 years, still nothing. I think maybe a couple of days ago, there was a post on the Facebook page where I saw the minister Conway Shear or something about public works making headway, so to speak. But the sports term is
So why they
is
dragging
here
the foot? Why they dragging
and
the
almost over.
foot? Yeah.
As soon as it comes, it goes.
Wait, you say inter-school gonna host this year?
I don't even know I don't even think they know where it's going to be held.
Could you imagine? You know how much years no sporting activity held up in Old Bastille High School? A contaminated ground. Who give them the clearance to have sporting event on that ground? Who said that it is safe for people to go there and have sport?
And a lot of sports fanatics, a lot of persons who are really in love with the sports, disappointed in the Department of Sports, not making sure that the field was adequate for the athletes.
And the sad part, I see Denzel Douglas boasting about it.
And then whose ministry is that again? Samuel Duggins.
But what
Again, he dropped the ball.
What do you think Denzel gonna boast about it? Because Samuel was against Denzel 10 years ago.
Samuel was against Labour 10 years ago. The
Denzel glad to highlight the failure of Samuel. He glad to highlight it.
In fact, he campaigned against Labour wholeheartedly. And then when he saw opportunity, he switched back over.
Things is not well in the Labour Party and the Labour administration, and the people of St. Kitts and Nevis is feeling it because they are underperforming. They fail to perform on behalf of the people because things are not well with them. They are not meshing well. They have trust issues among themselves.
We even said that we will retroactively correct payment oversights due to government auxiliary employees. Additionally, we will provide a pension plan to ensure that all government workers qualify for post-employment financial support. We will also negotiate with the private sector employers to create same. Further, minimum wage will be increased to improve the overall standard of living of our people. This is something that was written in 2022, try. 2022. Had the People's Action Movement been elected to office, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis would have had better now. We talk about creating a 3-year duty-free holiday. Well, we will create a 3-year duty-free holiday for public transportation owners to import vehicles powered by clean energy sources. Additionally, we will provide every citizen with the opportunity to import vehicles powered by clean energy sources through a duty-free holiday for 18 months. All of this is said. All of this. The People's Action Movement has always been the party with the ideas, the plans, and the execution.
Big ideas. When we decided to put Zante, the Labour Party reply, I wish we can go and wash it away.
The Labour Party under Samuel Duggins can't even refurnish the Kim Collins Athletic Stadium in time for sports. Again, another year has passed, still not finished.
So if they say they finish it, that means people are going to smell fresh paint. For inter-school, if they're going to claim, because you know they like we okay, so they might come tomorrow and say, "It finished," so you're going to smell fresh.
Try it's February. You've been very, very, very ambitious for what you have seen them do. You have been very ambitious.
I don't really want the people to feel so bad with doom and gloom, but it's really doom and gloom under Labour, you know, AZARD. I want to lift people's spirit and let them know that there's hope. And the hope is in the People's Action Movement, PAM. We did it already.
And we can certainly do it again.
We lift people from poverty. We create a middle class in this country. Before Palm, nobody know about middle class. And then the so-called, when we had the rich and the poor, the so-called rich, then who at this time they might have been middle class, they might have elevated a little more, because what the People's Action Movement was all about was opportunity for growth. Every man, woman, and child had a chance to grow.
And it is sad. We look at where we are now, and it has been bitter with labor.
You know about the Mission Atlanta? Sports, we're talking about sports.
Go on, try.
Mission Atlanta. I think the Atlanta Olympics was 1996, and the People's Action Movement had set money aside for Mission Atlanta, who sent our athletes to the Atlanta Olympic, because we believe in lifting people. Our flag was raised high. They had the Kim Collins and them there. You see this skinny boy from St. Kitts and Nevis, and people wonder who that guy be, and that guy become a household name globally.
Yes.
We believe in them, we invest in them.
In fact, the People's Action Movement continues to put people first. Just Friday, Valentine's Day, People's Action Movement
Their love
showed its love and appreciation by, paying for the fear of persons who are traveling, commuting the Friday afternoon. There were several buses, the political leader, you, myself, we distributed.
I think about over 300 people benefit from it.
Yeah.
And you see the joy on people's face, the smile, a simple little token, but it was so appreciative, the sight.
I think it's time. Let them see a bit of the video, what the People's Action Movement did on Friday.
My motto has always been others.
So while we wait
Others,
for the video,
Lord,
the
yes,
People's Action
others.
Movement on Friday, Valentine's
No,
Day,
in 20...
we went to all the bus lines. We went West Line, East Line, not that one. There's another one. Not that one. There's another one. Where you see the video with the leader and number of us giving out, tokens, paying for the fear, and so as you know,
And chocolate was the little
yes,
bit,
chocolate too.
And the little candy. Some people
Yes.
were sweet tooth,
Yes.
they did fatty with the candy.
Yes.
The thing. It was a fun.
It was a fun, and I know. Can we get the video played? Okay. So while we still it's being worked on, because we want persons to see.
My
what
motto
was done
has
on
always
Friday.
been others.
We want persons to see what
Others,
was done on
Lord,
Friday.
yes,
So,
others.
and it was,
No,
it was
in
really good
2024,
because
I
it was
recognize that a
unexpected
number of
by
our
the
people have
persons,
been
and it was
facing
really,
some severe hardship.
appreciated by the passengers,
And
we
I
doing what we
thought
can,
about
but,
how can I do something
based on
to
the
help?
resources that we have.
Because
We're not
even
in
though
government, we
the
don't have the
budget
resources of
boost
the
wallet
state.
was
We
introduced
are
and a
party
reduction
in
in VAT,
opposition,
some people
and
were
while
not
in
feeling the
opposition,
relief.
we're still
What
trying
if
to
you were a
ensure that
pen-
we
I'm the leader of the People's Action Movement, and today we are sharing a little love and compassion. You know, you have a hard day at work, and we know that you want to go home and enjoy yourself. This is just a little token of our appreciation, and we are paying for your bus ride. You can put your fees towards something else. We know that the fees have increased, but we want to make sure the bus driver has his fee and that you can get home safe. So travel safely and have a happy Valentine's Day. I'm the leader of the People's Action Movement, and today we are sharing a little love and compassion. You know, you have a hard day at work, and we know that you want to go home and enjoy yourself. This is just a little token of our appreciation, and we are paying for your bus ride. You can put your fees towards something else. We know that the fees have increased, but we want to make sure the bus driver has his fee and that you can get home safe. So travel safely and have a happy Valentine's Day. Link up.
On behalf of the party, we paid for the fares of those commuters persons who are being transported. You know, the People's Action Movement always putting people first, always ensuring that it is people focused. That's what we like to do. And so that is what we did on Friday. We actually went out and we engaged with the commuters to ensure that they had a good Valentine's, you know?
And anything was commuters from wrong.
I am the leader of the People's Action Movement, and today we are sharing a little love and compassion. You know, you have
Father, Semper, Sadler's passing home. As that before we wrap up,
Yeah.
and we also have to mention that our hard-working political leader,
Yes.
her executive of East Bastia and herself, they had a event also on
Yes.
Saturday.
Yes. They had an event. And the technician has the video for that event as well. The video that you were going to play first, could that be played now? It would highlight our political leader speaking on the reason why she had that event. Can it be played now?
My motto has always been others. Others, Lord,
So our
yes,
political
others.
leader, and as we
Now,
said,
in
our political leader
2024, I
in
recognize
East
that a number
Bastia
of our people
did
have been facing some
the community.
severe hardship. And I thought about how can I do something to help? Because even though the budget boost wallet was introduced and a reduction in VAT, some people were not feeling the relief. What if you were a pensioner? What if you were not registered on Social Security? And so that has been something that has been lurking in my mind. My cousin and my son said to me, Mommy, Shani, we got to do something. And we thought of a community day. I ran it by my executive, and they were very much on board. So, yesterday, it was a heartwarming feeling to see so many people trying to get some sort of relief. I mean, there was limited stuff, but we were able to reach at least 95 families. And that for me gives me motivation to do more, want to do more. We had food items, so we had a food pantry, which included non-perishable items and also some frozen foods and ground provisions. We also had a soup kitchen, so persons were able to get a warm bowl of soup yesterday. We had pre-loved items, including rugs, clothing. Some of them were actually new. You had suitcases, mattresses, microwave. Um, then you had a garbage disposal bin, which allowed persons to discard of any used items or garbage that they had in their home so as to create a more healthy environment. We had medical checks. Persons were able to check their blood pressure and their blood sugar levels. You know, it just warmed my heart to hear the gratitude that was expressed yesterday from the scores of constituents. And I am encouraged to do this again, and if possible on a bigger scale. And so my team and I, we will be going back to the drawing board, and we will be looking at how we can touch more lives. Because yesterday one person was brought to tears because they said, you know, this can take me through the week. And another man said, I can go home and cook a pot of soup, but I don't need to because you have soup right here. And so it gives me pleasure to continue to touch lives in East Bastia and on the country as a whole, because St. Kitts and Nevis deserves to have its citizens and residents in a spirit that keeps them to push on. They deserve to live better. They deserve to have a good standard of living. And whatever I can do, I will definitely do, because this is my home and it's all about putting people first.
So that was the political leader of the People's Action Movement, Natasha Shani Gray Brooks, and she spoke about her initiative that she had just yesterday, Saturday. And so the People's Action Movement continued to do a number of things. Yesterday as well, in constituency number 5, Soup Kitchen, I was there. Number of persons, yes, I got soap. A number of persons received soap. They had lentil soup, fish soup, and also the chicken soup.
Oh, you had the chicken soup?
I had the lentil soup. And so, and it catered to the community, the constituency, giving back because Pam cares. You understand? The People's Action Movement is a party that continue to put people first. But even before you go, I want us to talk about, just to highlight, the women. Just recently, a number of women were trained. Yeah. Yes. Again, showing that the People's Action Movement is dedicated to the development of women.
Ministry of Women Affairs, and then because I believe in the development of women, at the Ministry of Women Affairs, and it was changed to Gender Affairs after the change of government.
Yes.
As we speak about women, I must say this, that our political leader is a very hard-working individual, and you listen her voice, is sincerity in that voice.
Yes.
Sincerity. That is.
Are we getting a phone call? Caller, you're live on Unfiltered. We lost that caller. Yes, and so, as we said before, number of women were trained at that event. It happened last Saturday, not yesterday, the Saturday before. And so there were a number of persons, and on the political leader's Facebook page, she said, "We are claiming our space and stepping into our power. After an incredible training session held last week, we will not shrink to further someone else's expectation. We learned valuable skills and connected with amazing women. It's not just about gaining new skills, it's about unlocking our full potential. This workshop ignited a spark within us." She also went on to say, "Feeling confident and ready to take on the world, feeling inspired and ready to make a difference. Empower women and you empower humanity. The future is female and it is brighter than ever." That's what she said on her page. We have the caller. Caller, you're live on Unfiltered. We lost that caller again. Caller, you are welcome to call back. And you were saying something, Troy?
No, I was just singing the praises of our political leader, right? And persons who will get to know her will know that.
We have the phone call. You're live on Unfiltered. Go ahead, caller.
Mr. Gums.
Yes, yes.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good night, Shani. Nice to hear you in the program, Shani.
That was a video
Hello?
recording, but yes.
Oh, that's a video. Okay. Azar.
It's Troy with me here. Troy is here with me.
Who is that?
Troy Flanders is here with me.
Azar.
Troy.
I want to know where you are going concerning the fair share, report, Because it look like man get money from somewhere. Because people think it's Nevis could have straightened out the report. Street from Nevis, street from thinking, put them already married in a room, pay for the room, and they come back with the findings. Me and understand them kind of things we here talk about, you know. Oh, he want to know when O'Neill is spending the money. Well, how he ain't telling us how he's spending the CBI money? How he's not telling us how he's spending the CBI money? And we're going to tolerate them kind of things with these politicians, you know. You understand? One said that the CBI money is private. And here come and tell people about he want to know if he want to know how Nevis people gonna spend their money. Man, give the people that work for them and put that to rest. What happened to the Muslim Prime Minister? He got to come better than that. We're not gonna we're gonna take them nonsense with them, you know. Because you all got to get our act together. Man like Troy and others influencers want to put stupidness in our head to suffer us. And we're going to tolerate some kind of thing with them, you know. Because this thing will come tit for tat. Poor people out there suffering. If it's a collusion. And let me get the rid of these people. It's very serious. What's going on in Sinkis is serious. And people are up to the brim, you know. The head knocking off. Prices in the grocery. The money can't reach where they used to reach, and it's your problem. So you all gotta get yourself in order. Because poor people, especially now, it's coming to talking about why unity. Because people ain't going back to the party business, you know. People done with that. Because people see what unity do for 7 years. And we're going on the road as a. So I'm asking you all, you know, to get yourself in order. You all had a creating on Bank Street. Come in a town hall meeting and hear what people got to say. Put a big tent over there. Put a mic and we go and say what we got to say. Just like how we break Douglas back. Right on the Bank Street deal. This is what poor people want. Street people want that. And if I ain't coming in that, we can just clear for you. Have a good night. This is Jam Down, eh?
Thank you for your contribution, Jamdong. Thank you for your contribution. Yes, he's saying that the people are saying that they want back team unity.
Jam down. You are also free to come back home. The door is wide open. Jam down. I ain't gonna go into that because I mean the situation with Nevis, I think it would have been a simple situation. I mean, if I ask for 25 cents out of $1, I don't see something wrong with that. I mean, I'm just a layman, so I don't know. That situation might have done secular already if Nevis had gotten the 25 cents out of the $1.
Also, too, I want to invite persons. We're having a meeting in constituency number 4 tomorrow. The political leader will be there and would be speaking to the constituents of constituency number 4. It's going to be tomorrow, Monday the 17th of February. Yes, the 17th of February. It's going to be at Spratnet, and it's going to be 6:30. And so I want to invite persons to that meeting.
Is it constituents of number 4?
Constituents of number 4, yes. It's going to be at Spratnet, 6:30 tomorrow. And so come out. Our political leader is hosting the meeting. And so come out.
It's a very important meeting.
Very important meeting. Yeah. And so I am encouraging persons to come out to Spratnet from constituency number 4. It's going to be an important meeting, important discussion. And so your views are welcome to be aired at this meeting. It is already winding down. It's almost 9 o'clock. I want to say thank you to those persons who continue to tune in to Unfiltered. You know, it's a discussion, it's a conversation. We continue to keep the government's feet to the fire because we want to make sure that the people's work is being done. We know that it is a hard task to do the people's work for this administration, the Labour administration. We saw that they increased their salaries and increased the number of times you would see ministers leave the country. They have increased their what you call
Frequent
it?
flyers.
Yeah, frequent flyer miles.
Yeah, they become a member of my club.
Yes. And one thing that they implemented without any consultation was that increase in their salary. Brought it to Parliament, passed it, to the point that, you know, some persons could boast that because of this job, they were able to pay off certain debts. And, you know, while majority of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis struggle, the fact that the Prime Minister had to give $250 to so many people shows that persons here in the Federation, things aren't going well. And so we are hearing, I think I saw a headline that spoke about the IMF and basically predicting a tough road ahead. Something that I have to read that article. And, you know, we're here, we're speaking about political issues and something we have to discuss in the future. I've said that I think that the economy is going to be of a huge issue next election. We've had a good economy for the past 2 elections under the Team Unity administration, in which Pam held 4 seats. And so we realize that now Labour is back in, things are not going well for the economy. And I think it's going to be an issue the next election. But I thank you to those persons who continue to listen, share views. It is well appreciated. See you next week, same time, same place, Unfiltered.
Lord, this can end in a serious dilemma. Now that the country been run by Labour, this pure mayhem, scandal, disorder. With this Labour Party in power, is this a social club in disguise? Or some kind of criminal enterprise? What a menace to society this administration turning out to be. The PM got a so-called advisor, telling people how to get away with murder. This non-stop attack on the treasury with paper daddy and man sorry. This Labour bunch shot to the core, lacking integrity, that's for sure. Economist down, hard life crippling, we a collective menace to society. It's like it's all cheap and no Indian. It's like lunatics running the asylum without a plan. Ideas or structure is the people who left to suffer. No pop, no peace, bare unemployment. No money for bills, much less enjoyment. Total advantage, that's we fake under these enemies of the state. AAG, Yannick get lawyer. He really a pamper playing Labour third politician now for sure. Going from door to door in number 4, law and order not a priority. No one in charge of the nation's safety. DAD join the cult of the greedy. We just a menace to society. Government buildings, well them the worst. We infrastructure seem like it costs. Electricity and water walk with the moon. Every month you hear the fix coming soon. Under Labour life for this pure misery. Oppression, depression and tyranny. This gang is a menace to society. Life in SKN, this ain't no joke. Like the whole country going up in smoke. While Mr. Smiley and 10 money one busy fighting, jockeying for position. Lord have mercy on all of we with this menace.
It's the start of the week. It's time for a new perspective. It's time for Unfiltered. Join AZARD Gumbs, lawyer and deputy leader of the People's Action Movement, for raw and unfiltered political analysis of the current events in St. Kitts and Nevis. Tune in every Sunday evening from 7:30 p.m. on WinFM. Join AZARD Gumbs as he breaks the mantle and cuts through the unfiltered political noise to bring you the facts. Unfiltered every Sunday evening on WinFM 98.9.